I'll admit I have been known to give in to the outrage culture and everything else with various things, and honestly, most of the time I'm right, and the outrage is mostly justified because of the way things go nowadays with adapting everything for modern audiences or original teams of products that we loved, mostly video games, completely leaving and being replaced by people who don't respect the products whatsoever, and the reimagining of products and IPs that we love. But I'm trying to get a little bit better about that. Things are changing just a little bit. The tide isn't turning yet, not completely, but some companies are smartening up. And I think they actually want to make money now, which is a novel concept for a production studio. But here we are.
What a twist!
I'm just hoping that Netflix follows suit with that. And I reported before about Greta Gerwig taking over as the director of the reimagining of the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, which is a deeply figuratively religious Christian book series. And if you aren't a Christian, if you don't have respect at the very least for Christianity, you're going to miss the entire point of it. You're not going to care about it. And I don't know much about Greta Gerwig's religious background. I don't really care to a certain extent, except in cases like this. And I really hope that she has deep respect for this product. She's not going to try to make it her own too much. But this article I'm about to go over, I mean, I don't know. It's not exactly easing my anxiety about this one, but we'll go over it really quickly. My name is Troy. This is Marks on Media. And if you could, before we get into all of it, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the little bell to be notified every time I post brand new content or go live, which is every single day, at least new content, that is Monday through Friday. Now let's get into it.
Marks on Media.
I will say this about Greta Gerwig as a director, as a filmmaker. Nobody can deny her success. Too many people are willing to throw her into the conversations of people like Steven Spielberg and stuff like that because she made a couple of successful movies. And I'm not trying to diminish that at all or take away from her at all because it is a great accomplishment. She made a lot of money. She got good reviews and whatever. But look at the films she's made. I mean, right away we're gonna go over it here in a bit, but really quickly let's look at this. Barbie director's next movie starts filming in summer and is wildly different. The Chronicles of Narnia reboot is promised to be something very different from what fans are expecting, which is not a good thing, by the way. I just want to that's the first part of this that's like, oh my god, they're gonna ruin it.
I'm gonna wreck it!
By the way, I will say I don't want a reboot of the films. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was a in my opinion, it was a very good movie. The next two, Prince Caspian and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, were just kind of... Prince Caspian was mid at most, and Voyage of the Dawn Treader was just... bleh. I just watched it because I started the journey and wanted to finish it out. But anyway... even though she's written and or directed films like Little Women, Lady Bird, Frances Ha, whatever the hell that is, and even the upcoming Snow White.
Ew, David!
Bad sign right there. It was Barbie that really showed what Greta Gerwig is all about. To back it up, the reboot of the Chronicles of Narnia is now on her to-do list. The news came out last year, and until now, there wasn't an exact date set for the start of filming. In a recent chat with Deadline, producer Amy Pascal revealed that production is finally kicking off next July. On top of that, she dropped a little spoiler about what to expect from the fresh take on the series, which we'll get into. But if you look right there at that list of movies, Snow White is going to lose a ton of money. It's written poorly. You can tell just because the story details have already come out. It's not secret. They revealed it in the crappy trailer that got ratioed into oblivion and is not going to... The film isn't going to fare any better. people are just, if people watch it, they're not going to pay to see it, and they're going to watch it to dunk on it. That's what I'm going to do anyway. But then you look at those other films like Lady Bird, which was a low budget, coming of age, feminist movie, whatever, for young girls. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, Lady Bird was, it wasn't exactly a big blockbuster. It made money because it was a low budget. Little Women was fine. I didn't finish the whole thing. I got through like half of it. From what I saw, it was fine. The cast was great. But again, it was a feminist movie. It was a feminist book. It's a feminist movie. I don't know what the budget was for that. I'm sure it made money because it was based on a classic feminist novel or whatever. And then you've got Barbie, which was a huge feminist scree and a toy commercial, basically, in how long was the runtime? Hour and a half, whatever. It was like the Lego movie. It's an hour and a half long toy commercial, basically. And it was for the girls.
Girls do get it done.
There's none of that in Chronicles of Narnia. And Snow White's going to be a big feminist scree and whatever else. And she actually saves the prince, you see. The prince is insignificant other than to help Snow White girl boss a little bit more. But other than that, it sucks. It's going to bomb, and none of this in Greta Gerwig's vast resume gives me any confidence that she's going to do well with something like Chronicles of freaking Narnia. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But let's get into some of these comments. It will be a very new take on Narnia. It's all about rock and roll, she said. Like, frickin' what? Pascal was also full of praise for Gerwig, sharing that she had never seen anything like her, which is a great sign for loyal fans of C.S. Lewis's creation who are unsure of what to expect from the new adaptation. How is that great for fans of the books? That's what I want to know. Gerwig has rarely received negative reviews for her work, in fact, quite the opposite, and she's always stood out for that reason. I already went over that, and her work that you could point to. Barbie, for an example, had extraordinary reach, becoming a phenomenon alongside Oppenheimer in 2023 and grossing $1.45 billion worldwide. Yeah, it's a movie about Barbie. It's going to do well. However, this might also be a way to prepare the audience. Describing the reboot with words like rock and roll isn't exactly what people would anticipate, especially since Lewis's Chronicles are classic fantasy. But maybe this hints at the production taking a more daring direction. I don't know if that's good either. For those familiar with Gerwig, though, it's not entirely surprising. Take Barbie, for instance. When the movie was first announced, no one could have imagined just how spectacular the script would turn out to be. If you say so. I thought the movie was tripe, but whatever. Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, the streaming platform behind the project, shared a bit more about the reboot's details, stating, in fact, quote, "It will be bigger and bolder than they thought." Oh, well, good. Gerwig took it a step further, revealing that the concept blends two elements by linking the folklore and fairy tales of England.
Right.
The director has previously expressed some fear about taking on the production, as she should have, but she also seemed deeply committed to making it all work. She's been confirmed to direct at least 2 films, though Netflix has made it clear that it plans to adapt the entire literary saga into a mix of movies and TV shows. Yeah, see, I thought when they announced it, they said it was going to be a reboot in like a streaming series. Now they're talking about movies. Disney had attempted a similar approach between 2005 and 2010, but the project was halted due to a combination of waning public interest and the challenges of adapting the story for the screen, especially since the books don't follow a chronological order. Gerwig has already assured that she's being careful to bring the adaptation to life.
Sure, Jan.
Disney could have done a lot more with it, and they had a treasure trove of content there that they just kind of pissed away. The cast has not yet been confirmed, but William Moseley, who played Peter Pevensie, in the Disney adaptations, has shared his thoughts on Gerwig's new version and is excited about it. On top of that, if he's excited, On top of that, the reboot, although a Netflix production, is apparently being negotiated for screenings on IMAX as well. Cool. The new version of Chronicles of Narnia is expected to be released sometime in late 2025, although there's a possibility it could arrive in 2026.
Cool.
Like, none of this is giving me hope and confidence, and I know what the inevitable comments are going to say from the a-holes in my comments or whatever. They're going to be like, oh, because it's a woman and you don't like female directors or whatever. I just went through and complimented Greta Gerwig's work and said that you can't deny her success. You can't call her a failure in any way, shape, or form. She's not. I mean, Snow White's going to fail, but I'm not going to put that on her shoulders necessarily. It's a combination of timing of her script and whatever being, she was writing for the time that she wrote it, which, the kind of crap that Snow White's going to promote was popular when she wrote it. And there have been so many delays and everything since then. Rachel Zegler has tanked that freaking project. Disney itself has tanked that project. I'm not going to put all that on Greta Gerwig, but she's proven that she only knows how to do one thing, and that's write girl boss movies, and movies for girls. Chronicles of Narnia isn't that at all. Yes, you've got the strong female characters in the sisters, and their names are escaping me right now, but especially the little girl, like, a lot of the focus is on her because she's the one that really believes in Aslan and really keeps the family tied to Narnia. And even in at the end of Voyage of the Dawn Treader, the two older ones, they're too old to come back to Narnia. They got to go home and be adults now. And the two youngest ones get to stay and hang out or whatever. So, and they get to come back in the future. So you've got that element in there, and the female characters are very important parts of the book, even though the little brother, he's very important in the fact that, like, he's mischievous and he gets into stuff, and the other ones have to go pretty much save him. And then Aslan ends up paying the price for it at one point. And if you don't know, Aslan is a stand-in for Jesus, and they make it extremely obvious in the movie, by the way, through all the movies and through all the books and everything else. So I don't know if she's going to fully respect it. I hope she is. I'm not saying she's not going to, but these statements by Netflix are not making me feel any better and calming my nerves about the situation. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's just hold our nose and hope for the best. And I can't wait to see Saoirse Ronan be the voice of Aslan in this new adaptation, because that something like that, something stupid is going to take place.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Netflix is not going to allow the family to be fully white and the male characters to be the focus of anything, because that's just how Netflix operates. People internally at Netflix have all said this. Even when it comes down to stuff like The Witcher. Like, look, Geralt is like The Witcher, but he's not going to be the main focus, okay? Like, it's at least going to be 50-50 at the very least. So either way, we're going to get something stupid like that. But comment down below with what you guys think about all this. Do you have any confidence in what Netflix is going to do with the great works, the magnum opus of C.S. Lewis? The only thing that he's really remembered for, besides the Screw Tape Letters, is Greta Gerwig going to do well with it? Do you have confidence in her taking over a project like this? Or are you just kind of like, it's going to be another trampling of literary or literature like greatness, like a book series that belongs on like the Mount Rushmore of fantasy novels? You're going to take it and trample all over it. Or, I could be totally wrong, and it could be great. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see, like I said. But either way, comment down below. And if you want to read the article I just went over, it is linked down in the video description, not comment section. And if you could, please share this video around to everyone you know, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to be notified every time I go live or post brand new content, which is Monday through Friday. I am Troy for Marks on Media, and we'll see you next time.